Let me, rather than, I talked a bit last night about some concepts, so let me just tie a few things together, at least what I've heard. I think all of our presentations suggest that the concept of T is workable wherever you sit in the higher education spectrum. How we define the elements of T will vary among us, given our mission, given our approach, lots of things. We define it as a global citizen scholar, and it goes on. The key element, I think, that is a challenge for all of us is the connections to others outside of the academy. How do we enhance those connections in ways that strengthen all of our partnerships, not simply solve an immediate problem? Because this challenge of educating T-shaped people will be an enduring one, with time scales that will get shorter and shorter for us collectively to respond. So how do we think about this in the sense of partnerships and conversations that make this a more enduring piece, not simply today's problem to solve? The third piece is that we're all talking about an array of high-impact learning experiences. Whether you're the College for America, for that individual, for the people that we might put in research labs, it's defining high-impact learning experiences that are not defined necessarily by traditional measures or approaches. And how do we have more of those since we have the advantage of content coming in forms that don't require it to be written in scrolls? And how can we change our culture and our approach to permit more of that to happen, not simply by creating a new college, but by all of us thinking about the innovation zones and spaces it takes for us to be successful, and celebrating those achievements and celebrating the failures that go with them, because there will be failures. So that requires then an approach for not only T-shaped outcomes, but using the analytics we have available to us, not simply to do outcomes assessment, but to do pathway assessments that optimize the success of individual students who are all different. And not simply to have their dreams be met, or ours, but to make their dreams bigger in the process. Because that's been the key to education as well. Not just to satisfy the dreams, to make the dreams bigger in the process. Whether that's when they're with us or after they leave us in this lifelong learning. So how do we think about that, and how does this conversation track to those issues? Next issue is how do we think about our faculty, our graduate students, others who must be active participants in creating these new things. And we've talked about ways in which we can do that. And that becomes really critical, particularly for graduate students. Because without their partnership and their success, we will not be able to break the cycle in a sustainable and profound, scalable way. Final point is that all of this requires us as organizations to change. Not just because industry wants us to. That's one reason. But we've endured without them for a long time. And we, along with others, are the most enduring organizations in the world. Well, they've come and gone. So it's sort of hard to get really wound up if you're on a campus about what their current needs are, because they're going to change. Okay. But we need to change as well for lots of reasons. The most important of those is we have a role to play in making this world a better place. And we have a role to play in a world that if we were thinking about them, at least in the beginning of my career, we wouldn't have created for ourselves. Okay. And we can lament it, and we can stay in our corner, and we'll probably be okay. But we will not have made the impact that we must make to society if we don't profoundly think about, as I said last night, becoming more like T-shaped organizations. And with that comes then a focus, if you look at the T, on me. And the focus we're doing in our freshmen is how to focus on me, not just the T, because that's going to be where the energy is. So the power of a T-shaped organization is focusing on us and the collective us in the same way we want to empower that me. So we need to take advantage, I think, of Phil's work and others for what that collective us is for the T-shaped organization that matches the me that he identified in his presentation this morning. And if we can do that, and do that with a level of scholarship and integrity that is deeply rooted in our traditions, we'll be able to be the partner that everyone would like to have and be the force of good in ways we can't imagine. So thanks very much. I think I've got you enough time for the presentation.